Hey y'all, Mama Snark here. As you can see, I'm on a cruise ship. We are currently sailing on the Carnival Jubilee. It is one of the biggest ships they have in their fleet. I forget what the name of the class is, but it's like one of the biggest ships that they have. So after we're on day 7 now, we disembark tomorrow. So I wanted to come on here and do a little video on my tips and tricks on cruising as an introvert. I'm here with my husband. He and I are both very introverted individuals. Don't do people well. I have extreme social anxiety. He does not do people in lines very well. So I wanted to give you our tips and tricks that we've kind of come to find out over the course of this cruise, because it's been a minute since we've cruised together. So if you are an introvert and you want to go on a cruise and you're worried about all the people that's on the cruise ship, because this cruise ship holds, I'll put the number here, it's like 5,200, like 5,300, 5,200 guests on board. That's not including the staff. That's a lot of people, and people are everywhere. But if you follow these tips and tricks that hubby and I have come up with, this should help you out some. So, tip number 1, if you can, I highly recommend budget it so that you can have a balcony room. Us being able to come out here and escape on this balcony has been everything. So, like I said, we're on the Carnival Jubilee, and this can go with any cruise ship basically, but this is the specific ship that we are currently on. We have the extended balcony. So ours came with 2 regular chairs, like this one and the one that I'm sitting in. It came with a table that's behind me, and then it came with this lounger here. This balcony has been absolutely amazing. When hubby and I want to get away, we'll come sit on the balcony, drink coffee, read a book, listen to an audiobook, color, and just watch the ocean. And it's ours only. So there's no one around us touching us, looking at us, whatever. We're by ourselves, which is amazing. So if you can, I highly suggest saving and trying to budget for a balcony room. It also helps with motion sickness. I get seasick. I get car sick too. Like, I just have motion sickness problems. I have a prescription patch on, but can only do so much when the waves are rough. So if you have a balcony room, go outside to get fresh air helps. Also, facing the direction of travel helps. Like the other night, it was bad. Hubby got this lounger and he set it up for me right there on the balcony, facing, like, literally the length of the balcony facing the direction of travel. And I just sat out here and like breathed for a while, and it helped. Okay, tip number 2. And I've done a whole separate video on this one, and I'll link that one down below so you know how to do it. But tip number 2 is order breakfast to your room via room service. Lunch and dinner has a cost to it if you want to do room service delivery for that. Breakfast is included. It's free of charge. They'll bring you like a portfolio bill to sign, and it's 00000. Please tip them. The people that are delivering room service, obviously, tip them a couple of bucks for bringing it to your room. But hubby and I, one of our favorite things to do is get room service breakfast and then set it up and just eat on the balcony. Drink our coffee, watch the waves go by. If it's a port day and we're like coming into port, we can eat it on the balcony and like watch the ship come in to the port and dock, which is really cool. And you know, we're not fighting elbows at the buffet. That's going to be a sidestep. Number 2 part 2. Don't go to the buffet, y'all. Number 1, it's nasty. Number 2, it's not, like, there's just people crawling everywhere on top of you, and I can't do it. So for breakfast, definitely order room service to your room so that you're not having to fight anything. I do enjoy the sea day brunch, and they also do like an early morning breakfast in the main dining room as well on port days, but it's going to be earlier. I think it stops at 8 o'clock, and you have to check in for all of these. Let me pull it up to the app here. So you click on the food and drinks, and then you pick it's not going to work out here right now. The Wi-Fi is struggling. But basically you pick wherever you want to go, and you click check me in if you want to do the brunch or the main dining room for breakfast. Click check me in, It'll check you in, let you know what your wait time is. It'll ping a notification when your table is ready. And that's another way to kind of avoid people, so that you're sitting at your own table and not like, you know, using elbows to fight for your life. Okay, tip number 3. This one came about on our second sea day, because our first sea day was a little bit miserable. So on sea days, your cabin steward typically doesn't get through the rounds to get to your room and clean it until like later in the afternoon. And it kind of feels like you're just waiting for them to come, and you don't want to, it's awkward. You don't want to be in here when they come in to change your sheets or make your bed, provide, you know, replenish all the towels and things like that. I mean, that's definitely something that we want done, because we're using towels every day. And I like coming back to a little towel animal on my bed, and the bed made up and things kind of tidied up and toilet paper replenished and all that. But hubby was stressing out about it a lot on that first sea day, because we felt like we were trapped, like we couldn't be in our room because we didn't know when he was going to show up, and we didn't want to, you know, make it awkward for him. I don't know what's going on with this hair. And we don't want to make it awkward for him with us like still being in the room. So hubby was a little bit stressed out about that. So on our second sea day, we went and worked out. We got room service breakfast to our room, ate our breakfast on the balcony. It was beautiful. We ended up waking up really early that day because hubby forgot to set off his work alarm, and so that went off and we were just up. So we had coffee and a little bit of breakfast on the balcony, and then we went to the gym. And I'm practicing for a 10K right now, so I did like a 3-mile run. Hubby did all the weights. Whenever we were finished with that, we went and got some breakfast at Pig and Anchor at the back of the ship. They have like a breakfast buffet set up. We did that. Wasn't too bad. And then I think at that point it was like 8:30. Between 8:30 or between 8 and 9 o'clock, go up to the Serenity deck if you're here with adults only. If you have children, you're going to have to stake out a spot somewhere else on one of the other decks, because the Serenity deck is 18 plus. But go up to the Serenity deck, stake out a nice shaded cushion spot. They have the nice like cushion lounge chairs, and then they have the like beds that are kind of tucked back and under a wall so it's in the shade. And they have like the round like papoose chairs that you can sit in. Get there early, stake out your spot, because after 9 o'clock, they start crawling in and they do laps and give you the stink eye because you got the good spot. But on our second sea day, that's what we did, is right after breakfast, we worked out, did breakfast. After breakfast, we went up there and found a spot. Hubby stayed up there. I came back to the room, did a quick shower and change. And then I went up there, I grabbed my earbuds, my book. My earbuds were so I can listen to an audiobook. My earbuds, my book, my coloring book, because I brought an adult coloring book with me on this trip, which has been so relaxing for me. But I brought that up there, sat and colored, listened to an audiobook, and then stopped coloring, read my physical book for a little while. Hubby came down and showered and changed once I had gotten up there. And we hung out there for at least until 1 p.m., I'd say, maybe 2. And it was peaceful. We had our own little nook that we were tucked into, and it was just great. You know, big view of the ocean, like, you know, more so than our balcony. So I highly recommend doing that. And that way you're not just like anxiously waiting in your room for your cabin steward to come and clean it, and you don't know when they're going to show up, and you don't want to be in there when they show up. It can be a little bit awkward. Number 4. Kind of goes with number 2 of the order and room service breakfast, but number 4 is go to the main dining room for dinner. Whenever you check in to Carnival, they'll ask you if you want early dinner, anytime dinner, or late dinner. We always choose early dinner because we have kids, so we're used to eating early. On the Carnival Jubilee, that happens to be like 5:35 is when early dinner is. But if you go into the main dining room and eat, the food's not great. They try. It's not great. And like he was saying, our server kind of kept us coming back night after night because our server was Pan. She was excellent. But if you go to the main dining room, you can at least sit down in your own space at your own table, and they bring it to you, and you're not like, you know, busting elbows with people trying to get through, and you're not waiting in an obscenely long line to get food. So go to your main dining room. And like I said, that goes for C-Day brunch and breakfast as well, if you want that without having to fight any kind of buffet lines or standing in line. And then that kind of rolls into number 5, which is eat on off-peak times. Everyone is trying to get lunch at 11, 12 when it first opens, because that's when people typically eat lunch. And that's also when a lot of the like lunch spots open, like Guy's Burger, Blue Iguana, Big Chicken, things like that. It's like a lot of them will reopen at noon. There are lines wrapped of people waiting to get their food. I can't. So I went today at like 2:33. We had, done everything we kind of wanted to do. We still had a couple hours until dinner, and I was hungry at that point. So I went up to Guy's Burger at like 2:30. No line at all. I just whipped right through it, got my food. It was beautiful. Also on the Serenity deck, on C days only, they have a salad bar up there. And your girl loves a salad bar. I love salad. And salad bars are like just for me. Love them. Check the hours in the app. Again, you're gonna go to your little hamburger menu. And it has, let's see if you scroll down. So if you scroll down, it has that button that says open times. And if you click that, and again, the Wi-Fi's struggling right now, so it's not gonna work. But on that, it'll tell you the opening times of all of the restaurants, all the spas, the fitness center, everything like that. On the Serenity deck, the salad bar is only open on C days from 12 o'clock to 2:30 p.m. People started lining up at 11:55. So I got in line on our second C day at like 11:55, about 5 minutes before it opened. And there was like maybe 6 people in front of me and whipped right through it. It was great. Today, we went and worked out and then went down to the salad bar at like 1:30, and there was no line for it because everyone had already like vulture pounced on it. So it was great. We had a gorgeous, delicious salad. I recommend avoiding the buffet at all costs. Personally, number one, I think they're ick. It squeaks me out. Like, people are nasty. Also, again, you're gonna be like fighting elbows and people come and like crowd you and they don't know what personal space is, and I just not a fan of it. So we like to do off-peak times. Oh, look, it finally popped up. These are the open times. So you just, can kind of scroll through and it'll tell you what time everything is open. But yeah, eat off-peak times, avoid the buffet, go to the main dining room, all that. Number 6 is if you want to do like the water slides or the hot tubs, do those on port days. Because on C days, they are crowded as all get. It's people soup. Like, there's like 15 bodies just in that one teeny tiny little hot tub. That's a no for me. So on port days, if you have an excursion that is only a few hours long and it doesn't last the whole time that you're in port, get on the ship. Like, get back on the ship if you're not doing like shopping and things like that. Like, we're not big on shopping. So like yesterday we went to Cozumel. Our excursion ended. It was a 4-hour excursion. We got back. I picked up a couple of t-shirts for the kids in the ports, but that's it. Like, we didn't do any shopping because that's just not fun for us. So we got back on the ship and went into the water slide. On the Carnival Jubilee, they have one of those, they wouldn't let us film it, but they have one of those orange slides that you stand up on the clear platform, and they close you in to a capsule, and you're sitting there with your arms crossed, and then it counts down, and then the bottom just drops out and it goes. So hubby and I wanted to do that one just because we love drop slides. It hurt my back. Like, the seams of a slide coming together wasn't great. But the other port day that we did for Costa Maya, we got back on the ship early. The excursion wasn't that long. And we got in the hot tub, and there was nobody in the hot tub with us. And we just chilled by ourselves, and it was beautiful. So I highly recommend, if you want to do like the pools, the hot tub, the water slides, do those on excursion days, because a lot of people aren't coming back to the boat until the absolute last minute. So food lines are shorter. Like, we didn't do food on our excursions. The food lines are shorter. We'd get back on the ship, like zipped through the pizza line, no one in it. Beautiful. Went to the hot tub, got some ice cream, Yesterday we did the water slide. Do things on off-peak times. We also did mini golf one night, and we did it like right after the main dinner, but before the second dinner started. And they had all kinds of other activities and shows and stuff starting around that time. So everyone was busy and scattered elsewhere. And we did a round of mini golf with next to no people up there. It was amazing. Let's see. Okay, number 7. If you're going on excursions, like if you choose to do the shore excursions, if you can afford it and like read through the fine print on each of them, pick the small group option, because the one that we did for Costa Maya, it was going to the ruins, the Mayan ruins, which it was a great excursion, highly recommend. But there were 2 options for it. One was the small group, and it was 10 of us in a taxi. Like we got in a taxi, 10 people rode there together, 10 people stayed with our one tour guide, 10 people got back on the bus or the taxi together and came back. It was amazing. They had the same exact shore excursion, but I think it was like $20 cheaper, $30 cheaper per person. And you got on a giant like Greyhound bus with a whole bunch of people and went to the same exact place, and you would have been fighting to get to like the front to hear what the tour guide was saying and all that. So I recommend doing, someone's moving balcony chairs. I recommend doing the small groups if you can, because that, like I said, hubby and I don't like people. I have social anxiety. He won't admit that he has PTSD, but he can't be around large crowds either. So that was great. And then the one that we did yesterday, it was like one of the cheapest options. It was $60 going to a beach resort in Cozumel. And we had a guided snorkel tour, sat on the beach, had drinks brought to us. Not a lot of people around us. Aces. Let's see, number 8. If you want to do the comedy shows, which hubby and I did the comedy shows just about every night, they typically will have like 3 different showings of it. We liked to do the 18 plus explicit ones because we're adults and we don't want to be in there with children. So we'd go to our 5:30 dinner. After dinner, we'd come back to the room, freshen up, get a drink, something like that. You can bring wine with you on the ship, fill our glasses, and then head down to the comedy club for 6:45. Not that crowded. We found a spot easily, like 5 minutes prior to showtime. Watched watched the show, had fun, and then left. One night, it was a night that we were up doing mini golf. We didn't get down there until the 7:45 showing, and it was packed. So do the early showing, and it's not going to be as crowded. Let's see, number 9. Take the stairs. I don't know why, but it seems like the bigger the ships, the smaller the elevators. And there are so many bodies that cram into an elevator. Take the stairs. There's some times where like after I ran 3.5 miles this morning, I was like, I can't take the stairs right now. Like we need the elevator. But for the most part, they pack them in like sardines. And like, it's gonna take you several cycles to get an elevator to come up and open that doesn't have people in it for you to fit. Take the stairs. It's good exercise. You're not crammed in like sardines with a bunch of bodies. So hubby and I, for the most part, like every now and then we'll take the elevators, but for the most part, we've just done the stairs the whole trip. Also helps balance out all the garbage you're eating, right? So health, mental health and physical health, 2 for 1. Okay, and then the last tip, number 10, debarkation day. If you are physically able to, I highly recommend that you pick debarkation on your own, and you pick it in the app. So again, you go to the Hub app, you click this little heart that says My Planner, and that kind of gives you the day-to-day, like what's going on in the ship, what you've hearted. And it's not going to show up now, but of course it's not. I take a screenshot, I'll put it right here for you. You can choose self-debarkation. So if you choose to have them pick up your luggage, they will deliver your luggage tags like sometime in the like early evenings. You have to have all of your suitcases with those tags on them sitting outside of your stateroom door for them to pick up. So that means anything that you need the following morning before you get off the ship, you need to have in a carry-on because it's not going to be able to go in your suitcase. We personally choose to bring our own luggage off because they take, you can imagine there's over 5,000 people on the ship. They take all of the luggage and shove them into this one big warehouse. And they have them lined up by like your zone, because like you'll get a debarkation zone. So they got them lined up by zones. But you still have to elbow through and fight all those people to get through, to go find your luggage. And if you have more than one piece of luggage, you got to find all of them. And then battle through that crowd to get back out to the street to leave. Do it yourself if you can. Carry your bags with you. You don't have to fight through that process. That's one less stage of like crowds of people that you don't have to deal with. So that is it for my introvert's guide to cruising. Like I said, this is specific to the Carnival Jubilee, but honestly, it can go for any cruise ship that you're doing. So it is possible to be an extreme introvert and have social anxiety and have a great time on a cruise. Like, I'm about to go back inside right now. I've got my laptop set up. Hubby and I are watching a season of a show that we don't ever get to watch because we have children. But grandparents have graciously watched our kids and our dogs for us this week so that we could have some mom and dad time. But hopefully this was helpful if you're thinking about doing a cruise, but you're a little bit nervous because you're an introvert and you don't want to be around so many people. It is possible to enjoy yourself without, you know, having crowds all the way around you. So if this was helpful, please give the video a like and a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell, subscribe, follow along for more content. Bye guys.